Hey, this is Justin, walking through Central Park right here. So just doing a quick walk and talk on parenting. Just dropped my daughter off for her volleyball tryout. So wanted to kind of talk about some of the, not some of the specifics of our piece, but some um, of our, parenting relationship to keep some privacy for the family. But I'm definitely interested in talking about parenting and how that kind of fits into everything that we're working on, everything that we're working on in life. So I'm going to do this as an audio because I don't want to be holding up the camera the whole time. So let's get this off here. All right, perfect. So let's get this readjusted. Some of your destinations have errors. Cool. All right, so we got this. Yeah, so we got it set up here. Um, so yes, so I became a father 14 years ago. Have gone through. It's funny, all like all the patience, paces, and the emotions. I remember when my daughter was like first born. I remember also right before my daughter was born. I was like eating. And I was like, oh, this is like my perspective was this is the last meal with like a complete freedom, and that's what it like. That's what it looked like 14 years ago. And then, as you know, the cliche say, as soon as the kids are born, we're like, how did we ever kind of live life without parents? Um, and so yeah, so like um, this is uh, also going back to like wanting to um, knowing that when I had the opportunity to be a father, to have that be like my number one priority. Now my number one priority is now switched to health over family stuff, because it's just like, again, there's nothing we can do without health, but it's still like right up there. And then wanting that to take precedence over everything else, and then also going through some of the phases with like, I don't even know what it's going to look like. I remember when it was like, what's it going to look like when the kids are out of the house? Like, who am I outside of like being a father? And now I can start to experience that with, and obviously we're always a father, but the uh, like, what's my identity outside of like being a father? And now that I have a 14-year-old who went on a trip for 3 weeks this year, heading off into high school. I've got an 11-year-old who's, a lot more independent than even my daughter was at that time. Not because he's got some more maturity, but just because, he sees what his sister gets to do and wants to do some of those things earlier. So now he starts to see like, what does it look like when it's just like all attention isn't necessarily on the parenting piece of it. And then also the unique um, the unique experiences and the unique dynamic of every single family, and realizing like it's the one thing that we can't be like, oh, I've got this handled and I've got this handled forever, right? And I started feeling confident a couple years ago. I was like, oh, this is like, this is great, got to figure it out. And then we moved into the teen years, and realizing I had um, no level of confidence or competence, right? Except in parenting teens that are starting to move through, right? And them sort of knowing, asserting independence, and then kind of knowing how to push buttons, and knowing like shortcomings, and yeah, and then I guess that's knowing how to push buttons and starting to navigate through that. And then wanting them to be more independent, but also kind of missing the experience of being with them, like missing the experience of being with them all the time. So, and then also having those like milestone moments. I was this morning waking up, like dropping my daughter off, getting emotional for her first tryouts for high school sports, and then being in a new school, and then you know dropping her off a block away um, so she could, you know, not be the only person walking in with their father, but also, making sure that she get, and definitely that was a lot more for me than it was for her, just to, one, make sure she gets there, two, to have the experience and to experience the milestone. So now I get to go on a long walk afterwards. This is a long brainstorm. Like it's a little bit chaotic this morning because I'm in like in Central Park, and it is there's a lot of people like moving around and kind of a little bit stuck around. Somebody with this dog, a little bit stuck around like kind of finding the words and then also keeping conversation general enough, but specific enough to start to kind of work through some of the pieces. So I want to keep this one a little bit short today, and yeah, keep it short as brainstorm. I will be spending a good portion of the day today again taking these audios, taking these transcripts, seeing what we can actually turn them into on the back end, where there is like seeds of ideas that can be meaningful and can be impactful, and then also getting ready to plan out for the rest of the day and what that looks like. So that was it. I'm going to leave that one there for right now. Have an amazing day if you are listening, and I'll speak soon.